your big break?
Well, I started in radio in 1970. I was at a little station in Crewe, Virginia, which is 50 miles west of Richmond.
Okay, so when you got to that station, and
Hmm.
they gave you I said to John Fredericks, yo man, thanks for giving me the keys to the kingdom.
Yeah.
What did it feel like when you were in that radio station?
Oh, it was great.
I
It was
know,
fantastic. It was amazing, and I was awful at it.
but that's a key
And
word there.
yeah, that's why I was in Crewe, Virginia, not in Richmond. And I was there 2 years, and then worked at a station in Hopewell, Virginia, WHAP, Wappy Radio.
Oh, that's
And
what it was. So the one that's on the corner,
yes,
it's still there.
Mesa Drive in Hopewell. The radio station Crews on Melody Lane, which
Really, a radio station on Melody.
well, they named the road after the station.
I can imagine.
800 Melody Lane. We were 800 on the AM dial, and then after that, I got the overnight shift at WRNL in Richmond. So I guess that kind of was my first break.
So when you get to Richmond, you're overnight.
Yes.
Back in those days, could you play anything you wanted for the most
No,
part?
no,
No.
We were, this is like ancient history stuff. We were what they used to call middle of the road, MOR format, which meant we played Sinatra and Peggy Lee and Tony Bennett and stuff like that.
Like the big band.
Yeah,
The
well, it was a
not
big band of
but
singers from the 50s, mostly, or 60s.
middle of the road.
Yeah, middle of the road, which was, did not make anybody upset, didn't please a lot of folks either.
But people kept listening.
Yeah, yeah.
People kept listening. All right, Bill Bevins is here. When did TV come into play?
Oh gosh, I started at Channel 6 in 1986.
Okay, all right.
So I was in radio for 15, 16 years before I got into
So your
TV.
partner Bud was at the station, and Bud got some stories.
Oh, well, I've known Bud since I was 16 years old.
And he told me some of the stories. He told me about the
None of it's
rattlesnake.
true. None of it's true. I didn't do it.
The rattlesnake, and so I asked him, and he told us stories about you guys doing TV. So you end up, how do you even get to CBS 6?
Okay, so we're at Hyatt now. There used to be a Hyatt in the West End, and they had a club there, and I did a club night. I went out, the station had a club night out there, and I was doing a club night, and the great Charles Fishburne, who was the man in Richmond TV at the time from CBS 6, was there. And I saw him, and I'm like, I got to talk. That's Charlie Fishburne. I got to talk to him. And I went over, and he was the nicest guy in the world, just a great guy. And he said, I'm thinking about hiring a weather person. Are you interested? And I said, sure. He said, do you know a lot about the weather? Oh, yeah. I didn't know anything about the weather. But he said, well, I'm having an audition next week. Come in, 8 o'clock at night and audition. And I did, and I got the gig. And I worked with Cheryl Miller. So I'm sitting next to a giant in the industry who's like the smartest person anybody's ever met. And I just kind of tried to soak up as much as that as I could. I did the weather at noon, 5 or 6 years.
Alrighty, Mike King, Bill Bevins is here. So you go to do TV. Now you do TV and radio. Let's
Yep.
talk about a couple years back. Well, it's not a couple. About a year and a half back. I see you guys. You're launching the Breeze,
Yes.
the VA Breeze.
The Virginia Breeze and the Breeze radio station, and that's my friend Bud Myers that I've known all my life. And he always wanted to start a radio station.
He said it.
He's a music nut. This guy knows more about music than you and I will ever know. And he says, so you're not working in broadcast radio anymore. You're only at 6. You want to do it? And I said, sure. And we talked about it, and it was his project. And I said, yeah, I'll do it. And there was no money involved, by the way. We're doing it. It's a passion project. You know about that
I
kind
know.
of stuff.
Yes, I do.
So he said, what do you want to do? And I said, well, when I started in radio, we played every kind of music.
Back in the day.
Every kind. You go from Jimi Hendrix to Kenny Rogers to Aretha Franklin to bluegrass to whatever you wanted to play. As long as it was good. That's what I want to do. And I want to play local music. So he said, well, we want to feature local music. Okay, so we were in. So away we go.
So, and you guys have a rock star lineup. You guys got a lineup.
Oh, good gosh.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. So they have some guy on in the morning.
They're kicking off with that guy, Bill Bevins, in the morning. So wait a second.
Yeah.
How do you do, so you record that?
The night before, usually.
And then, because I'm like, how is that possible when we're seeing you?
Yeah, it's
on,
recorded the night before.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the difference between doing recording and live? Now, I love live radio.
Yeah, I do too.
But I was just on TV the other day, man, and it scared me.
Nah, you're natural. You know, it's the difference between me sitting here talking to you and us taping something. We always tell people at CBS 6 when we tape an interview, we call it look live because we want it to look live. So if you make a mistake, just keep marching. It's supposed to be live. So the difference with radio is that you can clean it up a little bit. You can fuss with it, but I don't. If I record a track introing a song, there it is.
So Bud was at the program, and he says, "Hey, did you know, Aaron, that was a new song?" I'm like, "No."
Yeah.
And he goes, "That's what The Breeze is.
Exactly.
It's not an oldie station."
No.
It
Now,
is.
I do play a lot more than everybody else because that's what I like. But I do play a lot of new stuff. But the point being that folks that you know, like Bonnie Raitt or even Elton John, they're still making music. You just don't hear it anymore.
Is it because you hear the same, and people talk about it, I hear the same thing on, whether it's satellite, you hear whatever channel you go to, you would like, wow, oh wow. Before, when we used to hear oldies music,
Yeah.
it was a big thing.
Yes.
Because we didn't hear it much. Now, you hear it all the time, and when you go to an oldie station, you hear those same 10 songs.
Yes. Oh, Bud's got like 4,000 songs in now.
He told me.
Yeah. And so that's what we do. But the most important part of it, I think, you said something that we say in radio. Oh, wow. So there is a song on an oldie station that people haven't heard for a while. And there was a category. That's your oh, wow song. You pull that out, put it in, and you go, oh, wow.
Oh, wow, because I
love
hadn't
that.
heard that.
Yeah. So that's